Good morning, everybody. My name is Matt Tjapkes. I'm president of Humanity for Prisoners, and I am honored to join you here today. Thanks so much to C3 for the opportunity to join you and talk to you here today. HFP and C3 have had a long relationship, and I just want to recognize that right up front. We are very grateful for your partnership throughout the years, so thank you very much for that and for this opportunity here to speak on this final Sunday of the year 2020, a year that I'm sure a lot of us are ready to say goodbye to. A lot of people around this time of year kind of take a look back at the past, take a look at the present, and look toward the future. And that's exactly what I'm going to do through the lens of Humanity for Prisoners and the people that we work with inside the Michigan Department of Corrections. So try and keep this 15 minutes, try and keep it brief for you, and talk through a little past, present, and future. And we'll start with the past of HFP. For those who don't know who we are, this will be a little helpful as well. We were founded in 2001 as a nonprofit organization. Our legal name is Innocent. It was founded by my father, Doug Tjapkes, who was working with a prisoner by the name of Maurice Carter, who was wrongfully convicted. They worked together for 10 years. In 2001, when the organization was founded, Maurice was still in prison. A couple years later, the focus shifted from legal to medical reasons, as we found out Maurice had cirrhosis of the liver, end-stage liver disease, hepatitis C. He had months to live. Governor Granholm granted Maurice a commutation in 2004, and he was released on July 24th of that year and passed away just over 3 months later on October 25th. During that time, we learned a lot about the Michigan Department of Corrections, their health care, and other issues in the system that not only affected Maurice, but affected men and women who maybe were in there for legitimate reasons as well, but still didn't deserve medical treatment like that and treatment on other issues. So a few years after Maurice's passing, the organization actually changed its name to Humanity for Prisoners and shifted away from the wrongful conviction business, which generally required lawyers, which we are not. And we shifted into this one-on-one business where we work one-on-one with Michigan Department of Corrections inmates and assist them on non-legal matters they face while they're incarcerated. I came on board in 2013 as a second full-time staff member at HFP. At that time, Doug and I were working at about 120 requests every month, and we thought we were pretty busy handling all that business coming in. Today, HFP has a couple more staff members. We have 2 more staff members right now. We're adding a third and hoping to add another as well in the upcoming year to help us handle what is now 1,500 requests for assistance every month. So that's over a tenfold increase from back when I started in 2013. We have over 5,000 inmates in the Michigan Department of Corrections that we have had contact with. We call them all our clients. And we just try and do our best to continue to work with them on issues like medical care, preparing commutations, typing them out, getting ready to see the parole board, just locating resources, getting attorney names and addresses just for matters, getting connected with lost friends and family, even sometimes just sending someone a picture. Someone needs a picture, they don't have anyone to send them one. We send a couple pictures to them every month if that'll help them brighten their day just a little bit. So that's a little bit about what we do here at HFP, our past, and right up until today. Now I want to shift the focus a little bit and look at the people that we work with in the Michigan Department of Corrections and their past. And if I could for a moment, I just ask you to think of a moment where you felt pretty low in life. You felt like you did something pretty low and you don't feel very good about it. Obviously, this is not a memory that you pull up very often. It's not one that you go to. It's not one that's comfortable. It's not one that you talk to your friends and family about. Now imagine being reminded of that low moment every single day in the clothes you wear, in the food that gets chosen for you, what food you eat every day, in the number you're assigned. Imagine instead of being who you are, you're just given a 6-digit number, and that's how you're told to identify yourself. That's what happens to our clients every single day. At HFP, we don't look at our clients' past. When someone signs up for our services, it's not dependent on what they're in for. It's not dependent on who they are. It's not dependent on their race, their religion, their gender identity. We welcome all. We help everyone as best we can with the services that we provide, and we do our best to remind everybody that those low moments in life aren't the only moments in life, that they are more than that. We had Father Greg Boyle over a couple years ago, and he talked about his work that he does working with gang members out in Los Angeles. And he talks a little bit about working with people who have records and who have found themselves in trouble. And he says, you stand with the belligerent, the surly, and the badly behaved until bad behavior is recognized for the language it is, the vocabulary of the deeply wounded and of those whose burdens are more than they can bear. So everyone's had a past. These men and women we work with get reminded of it every day, and we do our best not to remind them of that, but to remind them of what's coming ahead, not only in the present, but in the future. As we shift to the present and talk about the present and the work of humanity for prisoners and the issues our clients face, if the Department of Corrections was a perfect rehabilitative community, we wouldn't need humanity for prisoners. We wouldn't have to have this organization, and I would be perfectly okay with that. But we do, and the biggest thing that impacted everything across the board for us this year was COVID, which is not a surprise. Currently, as I speak to you, 18 of the 31 prisons inside the Michigan Department of Corrections are on outbreak status, meaning that the spread of COVID inside the facility is out of control. Nearly 21,000 positive tests have occurred. There's only 35,000 prisoners inside the state of Michigan prisons right now. 21,000 positive tests. So even if maybe 1,000 of them were false positives, you're talking about 20,000 of the 35,000 prisoners who have tested positive for COVID. The department's pushing its way toward herd immunity at this point. Prisoners know it's coming. They can't stop it. They're not the ones who brought it in. There are 6 to 8 men in a cube in a small room, a bunk in each corner of a small rectangular room, 8 men packed in. There's no way you can social distance inside prisons right now. They're sitting ducks and they're stuck waiting for it. And right now, there are vaccines that are going to be available. And despite the huge numbers, the huge spread in all the prisons, prisoners aren't given any priority right now in order for vaccinations. They're just going to be treated like regular citizens. The department's response when the outbreaks happen has been about the same as it has been since the spring, which includes moving prisoners around within facilities and from facility to facility, sometimes to a COVID unit. It doesn't seem like their response has been adjusted at all as the months have gone on and we've learned more about this disease. Other states seem to have found better ways to respond, but there just has been very little change in the response. And then that's what we're left with here today, with so many facilities on outbreak status. And then you think about the impact that it has on these prisoners throughout the course of the year, but more recently, just in the recent months with the holidays, starting with Thanksgiving, we had Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa. There were so many holidays going on, and there's been no opportunity for these prisoners to see friends or family face to face. There's been no visits since COVID broke out in March, and only 5 prisons right now, and this is only in recent months, have been equipped for and have up and working video visitation systems. So 5 of the 31 prisons have a way for someone to see face to face. Everybody else has not seen the face of a loved one in 8 months since March. So almost 9 months, maybe even close to 10 at this point, once we're getting into the new year. It's been an incredibly rough year for them. If they can't have video contact, they can hopefully have phone contact. Even the phones are hard to come by. We had a guy contact us a couple of weeks ago out of Muskegon, and one of the prisons up in Muskegon, and their unit of 88 men had 2 phones. And they have a spot for a third phone, but the department won't add a third phone, even though there's no other way to communicate with people right now, because they say the phones will discourage social distancing, that there's too many people crowding around the phones. And so instead, they're left with their phone calls if they're lucky to get them. And then if you're on COVID quarantine, if you've been exposed to someone or you've tested positive, then you're thrown into a sterile room. Then you don't even have your personal property. You might get one phone call a day. You're basically locked down 23 hours a day with 1 hour a day outside. And that's how some people have spent the last couple of weeks during the holiday season. There are prisoners who feel they shouldn't be in at all. There's a lot of parole eligible prisoners who are still stuck right now. The Michigan Department of Corrections is requiring programming, that they complete programming. The parole board says you have programming you need to complete, but because of COVID, the Department of Corrections is unable to offer programming to a lot of these men and women. So they're left with the Department of Corrections saying you have to take it, but you can't take it right now because we can't provide it. So there's got to be some common sense. There's got to be some middle ground here. Department of Corrections has to start either finding ways to offer classes on the outside after release. There's other opportunities here that have to be taken advantage of, for men and women who are stuck in there right now, as COVID is still raging on and will be for months to come. Others are just on a parole violation, maybe failure to report their address or something. Some are lifers that have incredibly long sentences and just won't be considered at all, even though they've had 30, 40 years of good behavior. And then there's wrongful convictions. Even if our courts were 99% accurate, that would mean 350 men and women in our Department of Corrections right now are in for a crime they didn't commit. It's been an incredibly tough holiday season in the present, and 2020 in the present for the clients that we work with, and it's created new challenges for us here at Humanity for Prisoners. We've had more requests than we've ever had in any year before. We've added more clients than we've ever had in any year before. And as we look to the future, we could use your help. And we shift to the future right now. It's unanimous among our clients. They are looking forward to 2021 because they want the vaccine. They want programming to resume. They want things to get back to normal, and they want to stop losing their friends. They want to start seeing friends and family again. 2021 can't come soon enough for the clients that we work with. They still, despite everything going on, hold incredible optimism, which is inspiring for us as we work with them here every day. As we look to the future, this is an opportunity for me to ask you guys to get involved a little bit as well with what's going on here. If anything I said today moves you, I ask you and encourage you to do a couple of things, starting with talking with those who represent you. I'm talking state representative, state senator, and the governor. Write them an email, send them a letter, give them a call. Let them know that you're concerned about what's happening in our prison systems right now, that you're concerned about the care they're provided. Ask them about the programming issues that are going on, why prisoners are being held for programming that can't be provided, and then ask them about the vaccine. What can we do to get prisoners higher on the priority list, since the outbreaks are so real and so many lives have been lost inside prisons? What can we do to help slow the spread and get the vaccine in prisons as soon as possible? These men and women are your elected officials. Hold them accountable, please. Talk to them. Ask them about that. And then remember this in the future as well. Starts on the local level all the way up. Look at all your locally elected officials, all the state officials, all the national officials. We need rehabilitation, not retribution. We need to rehabilitate. These are fellow human beings that we are talking about. These are sons and daughters of someone. Everybody was someone's baby at some point. Let's remember this as we are working with these people. Finally, a couple of ways you can get involved with us here through Humanity for Prisoners. If you want to talk to a prisoner, just work on an anonymous pen pal relationship where you're just on a first name basis. Just get in contact with the organization. Give me an email, matt@humanityforprisoners.org. I'll get you in touch with an organization, and you can write to a prisoner, just to dip your toe in the water and start that experience. If you want a little bit more where you're actually helping Humanity for Prisoners respond to some client needs, we always are welcoming volunteers. We're actually adding a volunteer manager next year to help us because the workflow has created so many demands on us. We need more volunteers to help us manage that. So you can get more information again on our website, humanityforprisoners.org, or by contacting me or giving our office a call, 616-935-0075. And then finally, I would not be a good nonprofit manager if I didn't ask for your financial support of Humanity for Prisoners. We're a nonprofit organization, 501c3, so gifts to our organization are tax deductible. And right now, through the end of the year, our year-end gifts are doubled by an anonymous donor. So if you're still considering who to give to here with any year-end gifts, please consider Humanity for Prisoners. Our work is just continuing to grow more and more. We have to grow our staff to manage that, and we need your support in order to do things like that. Before I get out of here and we move on, I am going to join you for the chat in a little while, and I'm looking forward to that. Again, if you have any questions, visit our website, humanityforprisoners.org. And I just want to close with a note from the brother of a client, and I'll just let his story explain it from here a little bit. I wanted to inform you that my brother recently passed away in the Michigan Department of Corrections due to medical complications. I wanted to say thanks to you and the entire staff of Humanity for Prisoners organization on behalf of my brother. He always spoke highly of your organization and never lost faith that he would one day be allowed to spend his final days with his family. My wife often spoke with you regarding my brother's case, and she was always treated with respect and dignity. My family will be forever grateful for the assistance provided by you and the organization. I wanted you to know that you are appreciated and that you offer hope to those who would otherwise be lost within the system. Your work has a major impact on many lives, inmates, and family members. You are a beacon of light to those who are unfamiliar with the system. Please consider a gift to Humanity for Prisoners and let us continue touching lives like this. Thanks so much for the opportunity to join you here today. I'm going to pass this along now, and I look forward to talking to everybody in the chat afterward.